I determine or how we make the determination of whether to close school or delay usually involves a conversation with the North Versailles Township Police Dispatch, who have probably arguably one of the better handles on what the road conditions are like. We also talk to our own physical plant guys, Daryl and his team, who are typically out very, very early on days when it snows. But we also consult with other school districts locally, typically in our areas, McKeesport, Penn Hills, and one or two others that will discuss conditions around this part of the county, and that's how we'll arrive at the decision to delay or close, whatever the case may be. But just wanted to remind families that we're entering that season, so be watching for that kind of notice to appear in your TV. Make sure your phones are close by you, so you can get the message if we call you. Finally, Miss Morris, high school principal Miss Morris, sent out a letter today. One thing that she mentioned in it, we're going to present about this at a subsequent board meeting, won't be doing it tonight. This is the first year that the Act 158 legislation is in effect. Act 158 is the Alternative Pathways to Graduation legislation that was recently passed. This is the first year's graduating class that it will affect. Ms. Morris outlined some of the basics of Act 158 in the letter she sent out, but we will also be doing a presentation here at a future board meeting about that. That's important information for parents and guardians to be familiar with, because essentially what it provides are, as the name suggests, there are 4 different ways that a student in Pennsylvania can achieve the graduation requirements and receive their high school diploma. It was designed in light of the COVID pandemic, but it's very important legislation that will be coming out. And if you get the letter from Ms. Morris, I would encourage you to read that closely. And you can certainly find more information about that on the web. And again, we will be doing some additional presentations here at the board about that, as that will become a very important topic in the months ahead. And that was all I had, Mr. Smith, so thank you for that time.
Thank you.
What's that? Oh, I'm sorry, did I miss something?
No, I just want to mention about Act 158.
Oh, please.
I actually met with 2 seniors today because the parents received the letter from Ms. Morris. And we have a very nice checklist available through Ed Insight that I'm using with them. And those 2 we were able to go through, and they will be able to graduate through an alternative pathway.
We're doing it. Thank you very much.
So it's working.
Appreciate that.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Student reports, if you guys have any.
So they're new to the game today, and I just wanted them to be able to introduce themselves a little bit and just share a couple of things. I shared with them the kind of guts of student life out of my report, so they're going to share what's pertinent to them, but I want them to introduce themselves. They're both juniors.
Sounds good. Go ahead. Floor is yours.
I stand up or not?
Whatever you want to do, buddy.
There you go.
I'm Michael Kale. I'm a junior. Play football, baseball, swimming, and track. I'm number 1 in my class, and I just want to come here and represent the school.
Thank you.
I'm Imari Williams, and I'm also a junior. I am part of the Spanish club. I'm part of the cheer squad. I run track, and I also represent my school as well.
So from the senior high building, are there any current student concerns or issues that are circulating that should be brought to the board's attention?
Be real with us. That's why I put it.
Not at this time. No, not that I could.
Needs, ideas?
The only thing that I thought of is that the PA system down on the football field is not very good. I think we need a new one. That's all.
We know that. We all know.
I don't know.
In my house, I can hear everything.
What about you, Amari? Any concerns?
Bathroom's playing on for you.
We tend to run out of napkins really quick, like paper towel. and that's a problem by maybe sixth period.
We don't
So
even have like a 1,000 employees bathroom. They take them out, I don't know why, but they leave them like on the side, so like you gotta keep going up to the corner where the security desk is.
So I do have a question for both junior high and senior high, because we had some unique policy changes this current school year. And one of those big policy changes was in relation to the dress code. So as students, looking at everybody on a day-to-day basis, how would you say we are upholding the new code?
I feel like everyone's doing good with it because it's stuff that we actually want to wear, stuff that we feel comfortable in, stuff that we feel like fits us more. Like I didn't really like coming to school and it's a collared shirt every day. Honestly, I like being able to relax, or I'm like being able to dress up. It depends on how I feel. So I feel like everyone's doing it for this one.
Ms. Vernon, I wanted to congratulate these two. These were on the committee, in the SAFE committee, that made a lot of the recommendations from the school board from last year. So both of these were involved with Mr. Shevchek's SAFE committee last year.
Well, welcome.
Thank
You had a lot of suggestions and ideas that you brought to the table in terms of, speaking from a student body perspective. And so, from your lens, how do you feel about safety in the building this school year?
We're doing better, yeah. I feel like it's better than last year.
And what do you feel is working?
Dress code was a big change. I feel like people were mad that they had to show up in a collared shirt, and I feel like that stirred up a lot of people. But now that we're like able to wear what we want to, I feel like everyone's just been better about it, and I haven't had any problems this year.
From Jimmy.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
you.
I do have one more question though. It's
Go.
kind of an important one because we're already moving into our work related to course schedule. So from an academic standpoint, what changes or differences would you like to see with regard to our master schedule for next school year?
Who's gonna say no? For lunch, I think we should I feel like the 30 minutes is a little bit too short. Cause like me personally, I'm still eating during that 30 minutes cause I eat a lot. But I think that maybe we could get some with that. And I think from everyone has been positive about the pride period. We've all liked it, and I think it's a great period to have. And just to be able to do those smart futures and to have sometimes a study hall to get some extra work done.
And what are you achieving in that pride time?
We have smart futures activities that we have to do, maybe 2-3 times a week, and then other times we have like a study hall where I could finish like projects and stuff that I might not be able to do during the week. So.
We haven't seen study halls in a long time.
It does give me a lot of time to do extra work, especially since I've been out sick last Thursday and Friday, sorry. And I definitely have a lot of work during pride. And I feel like we do need longer lunches because the lunch lines are very long. And by the time we sit down, we only have 15 minutes.
Are you lunch A, B, or C?
I'm
How about the two of you and the junior high?
We're both in lunch A, but yeah, the lines are like ridiculously long. They'll probably get out when there's at least like 10-15 minutes left of lunch, and but
I think one of the big reasons for that is because we combined 7th and 8th grade lunch, which I've heard a lot of complaints about, just walking through the halls.
And how about your pride time? How is that working at the junior high?
working
Oh,
really
it's
well.
very nice. Yeah, it helps do things. It helps the smart futures. It helps all the stuff.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Thank you.
Could I request And I don't know if the junior high kids apply, but both of these kids just kind of caught them off guard today. And I know that Michael has a project he asked about, and she's catching up on a couple of days worth of work.
Yes.
I would
You guys
appreciate it.
can, you guys can,
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
I need a motion to dispense with the regular order of business to hear from the citizens. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. That motion passes. We have none this evening. I need a motion to resume the regular order of business. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. That motion passes. Any communications?
Nothing per se, but we do have here tonight Ms. Adela Wolf from the cafeteria. She wants to introduce our
Yeah,
new
I'm-
regional manager.
We have a new regional manager. Nutrition had reorganized, their regions, and Kelly is a lot closer for us. So she's more hands-on, so I just wanted to introduce Kelly Bell, Sony. I did it. Yeah, I wanted her to welcome her too, that I wanted to introduce you, and
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm super excited to be working here. I've been with the company for 9 years. And when I first started with the company, I had the privilege to come and work here because I live about 10 minutes down the street. So I was excited. You guys are familiar to me to be working with you.
Thank you for the refreshment.
you're welcome. Oh, enjoy your little. Yeah.
And we also have this evening our realtors here, Mr. Shawns.
Yes.
And Mr. Debbie. We really can't discuss what you wanted to bring to the board. That's an executive session or private.
Okay.
You cannot say that publicly.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to wait on that.
That's what I mean.
Or, you know.
I mean, yeah, we can do
We
it
can
after.
do
You
it
guys
after.
want to stay for a couple
If the
minutes
board's, if
after.
the board's inclined, we'll do it after.
Yeah,
since
we
you're
can do
here.
it after.
It's just a brief 2-3 minute update they want to give the board on Green Valley. Okay?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, I need now, before, did you want to ask Mr. DeVincenzo about?
If we're going into, yes, so if you would give us some more supportive information in relation to personnel,
ESL.
yes, the ESLB, where the request is to create a 0.5 FTE position. So the last time we had an opportunity to speak about this type of service, now in the form of a part-time position, do we know specifically now exactly how many students we're servicing in ESL, how they're divvied between the two buildings, and how much of someone exactly we may need in relation to, there's no caseload maximums in regulation, but what we're looking at in terms of our trend too. We talked a little bit about, because we said there was an uptick in that population, but what are we thinking in terms of sustenance and moving forward? So if you could just share out a little bit more information to help facilitate that decision.
Absolutely. I compiled a little bit in anticipation of this. So to get more specific than our general discussion last time, we currently have 20 students with one who needs to be tested. So I mentioned 21, we still have to test that student, and enrollment was delayed. And that's across the 3 sites and the 13 grade levels. So that brings up issue number 1, and that's Mr. Lorenzo, the current ESL teacher's ability to service students across that large of a grade level span. And then with a glut of students in kindergarten, which is currently 6, we have the phonics and phonemic awareness needs that those students possess, overlaid with the second language acquisition concerns, as they all speak another language natively. So that is something.
6 in kindergarten.
6 in kindergarten, yeah, of the 20 in the district. And so Mr. Lorenzo's trying to get extra time there, but without sacrificing the time that he wants to spend daily with the students across other Logan grade levels, the junior high and the senior high. In addition to the, and I'm getting information, there's 22, he has 20 on his active roster.
And we have 2 that have just enrolled.
There you go.
So 20,
22.
22.
So 22 if they tested.
I'll go test.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's K to, what?
K to 12.
K to 12.
Well, what's the high, what's the oldest we have? We don't have any seniors or juniors.
No,
Just K to 10.
Ninth grade.
well, 9th and 10th grade. We don't have any junior high kids or seniors, but we have 2 in the 9th and 10th grade.
There's quite a, it's
Yeah,
Broad
and
spread.
that's part of the problem because Mr. Lorenzo has to cover both buildings.
In addition, that is a caseload rise from 9 to this number of 22. And there's also a newcomer rise.
Is that in 1 year?
That's the information I received about
Okay.
being here last year, yes. Is that?
1 year?
Perfect. And then there's a newcomer rise as well. So composite proficiency scores on the annual proficiency assessment are on a 0.0 to 6.0 scale. 17 of our current students are below 3.0, which is indicative of a larger need for support. And in addition to that, you have Matt's inability to collaborate effectively with the content area teachers, where one of the things we talked about last time was, you want these accommodations and language support sustained across the curriculum. And one way to do that is to teach teachers, provide a professional learning or at least a collaborative arm of what we do. Matt doesn't have the time in his schedule to do that. And nor is there really time for him to go and find professional learning to take the time and to sacrifice the instructional needs of his kids. And then this model that we've constructed would allow for that to be embedded within taking some teaching time and then do that 0.5 FTE, also helping out and alleviating the collaboration and professional learning needs. And then it's a cost saver over our other option, the other game in town, the Allegheny Intermediate Unit, a 0.5 FTE is $53,000. A 0.5 within our current salary step schedule would come in significantly less than that.
24,000. Okay,
Those are the items I prepared.
okay. Do we have any idea what is responsible for that upwards trend
So-
right now?
What I've noticed, and even coming from Westmoreland County, in the last 3 years, the WIU, my former employer, experienced a 65% increase in their ESL population. I mentioned last time to all of you guys, particularly in the Mon Valley and the Route 30 corridor, Woodland Hills is exploding. Norman, albeit being in Westmoreland County, also jumped from the low teens to 35. It seems like real estate is attainable here. There's also some good word of mouth. I do some community-based events for our learners, our English learners, and there's a lot of positivity around the climate that people experience in Western PA versus some other areas. There's probably political factors in there, and you can draw your own conclusions. But as far as sustainability, that 65% growth is across a 3-year span. And it seems like with the easing of border restrictions post-COVID closures, that Western PA continues to grow, at least in this recent data swap, which I think is the appropriate one to look at, given that we're all living in this post-COVID closure climate.
Anybody else have any questions? Anybody okay? I am.
Yes.
After hearing.
I mean, we are required to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before we do vote on the agenda in toto, we are tabling personnel item C. Change. I need a motion to approve the agenda in toto. Any exceptions?
Personnel A.
Personnel A, Personnel K.
Personnel A. Personnel A. Personnel A.
Personnel, personnel A and K.
Everyone?
Yes.
Everyone is A, Dennis Vernon, A and K?
Yes.
Julian A. And everybody else is A.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. That motion passes. We have our federal programs as written. Any old business? Any new business?
I got, make a motion to vote on the superintendent's contract. Motion discussing.
The motion, I believe, is not to renew the current superintendent's contract. Is that correct, Mr. Pesey?
That's correct.
All right, is there a second on that motion?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Mr. Goldstein?
Continue.
No.
No.
You're a no. Mr. Meredith?
Yes.
Mr. Pusey?
Yes. So not really.
Mr. Zavinda?
No.
Ms. Thomas?
No.
Mr. Trout?
Yes.
Ms. Werner?
Yes.
Mr. Yusko?
Yes.
And Mr. Zober?
No.
That motion passes 5-4.
Given that motion, there should be a motion to take action in regard to applications seeking new superintendent posting for that position. Motion, Mr. Pesey.
Yeah, it is.
That would be effective June 30th, July 1, 2023. Is there a second on that? That should be roll call vote also.
Yes, sir. Mr. Goldstein? Who's the post and hour?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Meredith? Mr. Pusey?
I'd like to advertise, yes.
Mr. Zavinda?
No.
Ms. Thomas?
No.
Mr. Trout?
Yes.
Ms. Werner?
Yes.
Mr. Yusko?
Yes.
And Mr. Zober?
No.
Six to three. That passes.
Any other new business? Need a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. Meeting adjourned, and we're going to do a brief executive session. For real estate purposes.
Yeah.
Let's go through your alphabet.